All right, what we can learn about marketing from chickens. Just know me, I hear weird stuff and stuff captures my attention. And yesterday it was chickens. So I was listening to the radio and it was in the news. I'm like, this is not news unless you live in rural Australia. Like, this is ridiculous.
Fitness trackers designed for chickens. Jesus Christ.
Fitness trackers designed for chickens. Now, what caught my attention, like the ridiculousness of it, and I feel like I just have to share the ridiculousness of it because it's funny. What caught my attention was the reason that they're putting fitness trackers on the chickens is to demonstrate that the chickens are free range and out free and walking. And so they're using the fitness trackers to count the steps of the chickens that they then print on the eggs.
Okay.
And from a marketing perspective, you want to know what's intangible? Healthy free-range chickens. How do you prove that? You put Fitbits on them, you count their steps. And you have demonstrable proof that your chickens are free range. And then you can start competing. And it's so out there. No other chicken egg factory thing
has
Fitbits on their chicken. They can't compete with it. You talk about creating an industry that you're the only one in. Putting Fitbits on chickens is a pretty darn good one. But in terms of currency, in terms of measuring the success of your product, of your service, so our chickens are the healthiest free-range chickens, and we know how many steps they take. No one can compete in that arena. So from a marketing perspective, and the reason I wanted to share it in the How to Create the Website workshop, this is what I want you to think about as we're creating your website. You might not get it today, but we put steps on the eggs piece.
On the chickens.
So they count the steps of the chickens and then they print them actually on the eggs.
Oh, wow.
On the eggs.
On the eggs. It's not a long video. I'm going to hit play. You won't be able to hear it, but I'll...
egg did 50 steps today. Okay.
You've got this chicken that's wandering through. I'll share the link in 4,362 steps. It's like a minute and a half. It is the best marketing concept I have seen in a long time. It is up there with PC versus Mac. I don't know if either of you have seen that. I just love those. The ads, I highly recommend if you're into marketing, Frederick, check them out, the PC versus Mac. But in terms of currency, in terms of making something measurable, how do you measure that a chicken is free range? You put a Fitbit on it and you count its steps. It just ties into my everything is measurable philosophy. So that's why we're asking about chickens. Anything else on chickens before I reset the recording again?
I'm curious if they probably don't need this for the recording, but I'm curious if they measure after they cut the chicken's head off. Because you know how they run around like a headless chicken.
I don't know. I doubt it. I suspect that they've taken their fit chicks. There's probably a gym called Fit Chicks somewhere.
I wonder if they to get their steps up. I mean, you could free range, right? Like, how big could it be? I can make it the size of my bedroom, stick a dog after the chicken. I'm sure it's going to get its steps up.
Oh, that was what I said as well. My skepticism didn't go there, but there's nothing. I mean, how do they know whether it's accurate or not if you're going to go to the skepticism piece of it? But I just thought it was an interesting way of demonstrating, because every chicken farmer says our chickens are the healthiest, happiest chickens. How do you prove it? And you still can't prove that they're healthy and happy as such. You can prove that they've got plenty of room to wander around and go and get. And there was one I saw when I was Googling, because I couldn't find the article. Ori found it for me this morning. But one I found, and it actually recorded not only their steps, but their dust baths and their when they were pecking and when they were walking and the difference. And so it was originally designed to track if the chickens were getting sick, so you could pick up if they had mites or something and pay attention to them in big chicken free range farms, so you could just pick up which chickens were sick. But yeah, it caught my attention as that's a really cool perspective on marketing and a really cool, this is how we stand out. So they're not trying to say our eggs are bigger, better, or any of that. They went to a measurable, completely left field. How do we stand apart rather than how do we stand out? And to me, that's the core of marketing. It's not, are you bigger, better, brighter? I did like the alliteration when I wrote that postcard this morning. It's how are you different? How are you unique? And we measure our, 12 months time, it'll stop being unique because everyone will now follow that trend. But we were the first people to count our chicken steps and demonstrate. And so how are you unique? How do you stand out? And that's, I just wanted to plant that seed, and the chicken story was one way to do that. And it was cool, and I wanted to share that they put Fitbits on chickens, because to me that's just bizarre and weird and delightful.
Is this in America?
I don't know where it was. It was on my local news, so I'm half expecting.
Maybe it's Australian.
Honest Eggs Company. Doesn't say where it is.
Yeah, Australian, I think.
If I listen to his accent, let's try his accent.
They're in Victoria.
Oh yeah, he's Australian. He is an Aussie farmer. I hadn't paid any attention to his accent before. He's an Aussie farmer. So that's the chickens. Any final thoughts on that, or we'll reset and we'll move into banners? So actually, before I do that, so if you, I'm going to do it now. We're going to stay with this and we're going to move into banners on this recording. So when you're thinking about your banner, you want to be able to position your uniqueness. Now, again, today you may not get there. You may have something a little bit more mainstream, but we tell you the steps that our chickens take every day while they're laying your eggs. That is what would go on their banner.
Can I also pipe in with something else? Because I'm just looking at their website, and it says on their
I have no idea what their website looks like.
Bright orange. On their on their egg cartons, they've got a bright orange thing, and it says only 30 hens per hectare. Whereas free range means it says, because it says when it comes to eggs, there's a lot of BS out there. Free range, for instance, can mean 10,000 chooks in 1 hectare. Or to put it another way, 1 chook per square metre, 24/7, 365 days a year. It's not what we imagine when we think free range. At Honest Eggs Co., we are setting new standards. So they've got the us and them, and
and they've got it is very, very orange, but they've got a really good, it's only 30 hens per hectare, and then they haven't put their step count on there yet. Like, that hasn't got to the website. That must have only been
that
reasonably
was
new.
dated 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So
it is new news, and they haven't got to updating their website. They need to come and join us.
And they also
actually their website's pretty freaking good.
50 per AFL ground. So
there it is. It did make it there.
Oh yeah.
Want to know? Oh, stay tuned. We've got something very, very exciting coming soon. But so Stockton stores across Victoria, New South Wales, ACT. So definitely Australian.
You can go and visit. So talk about transparency and wow, fascinating.
Yeah. So in terms of positioning themselves in the market, they've done really well. And then I imagine in time they will add that step counter up the top here. At the moment, their point of difference, we've only got 30 hens per hectare, but in that they're competing in something that everyone can measure. Whereas the fit chicks, that's going to have them stand out even further because no one else is measuring the steps of their chickens yet, because it will become the trend. So, yeah.
Also, you're not going to find them, I think, in Woolies and stuff. So we're just looking at their stockists in my area. They got the nearest one seems to be QE food stores, whatever that is, but in Newtown. So it's not.
So they're an elitist chicken egg.
Yeah.
Sales.
And then it also says what cafes they're available at too, which I can't see. But yeah,
nice.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So looking from that marketing perspective, that point of difference, and we want difference. We don't want to, I mean, bigger, better, brighter is good. And it was bigger, better, louder. But the best, the only, all of those words is great. So best, we're comparing to others. Only, we're in our own market. We are the only chicken farm that counts the steps of their chickens. And for a while, they'll be able to say that because it'll take a little while for other people to catch up.
I think I mean, to me, yes, it's nice and gimmicky and all that sort of stuff, but 30 hens per hectare is...
That one probably has...
It's the opposite of massive, but the difference is significant,
yes.
right?
Yeah, so that has them stand... That's competing in the same field and has them stand out, makes them bigger or makes them, I don't know what the right term is, better. And then they do also then have that point of difference. And so they've got both coming in. And so for us, we want to look at what that is for ourselves.
So to find the only, it just, but see, my mind then goes, maybe I just haven't found somebody else that's there yet. That's like, say I find an idea, I then go research it. What if I haven't, like, I always question, I'm like, I could put only, but can I really? What if somebody else out there has it?
Well, so you are the only Frederique.
Yes, I am the only Frederique.
There is no other Frederique out there. There is something that is the only, and you are the only.
Mm-hmm.
You can even, like, their only is only 30 hens. They don't say we're the only farm that does 30 hens, but we only have 30 hens per hectare. So the word only is enough to use as the positioning as well.
Right.
Like I said, I don't know that we're going to nail this today. I just want to plant the seed. And as you're creating those banners, this is where you want to put that point of difference, ideally. You can put it further down as well. But I am the only Amy Taylor. I am the only person, or I am the creator of the Daily Frog movement. Now, it's not what I lead with anymore, but I am the creator of that. I am the first person to teach Daily Frog. Mm-hmm. Now, others may rip me off, but I'm still always going to be the first. I am the first person to use the stand apart models. I'm not the only visual model specialist, but I am the only one that uses my apart model. And if anyone rips me off, I can, like, it's mine. They can't have it. It's my intellectual property. So there'll be something that you are unique with, and it's tapping into your uniqueness. I don't expect you to do it today, but tap into what you can today and keep focusing on, as you notice over the next couple of months, what are you the only one to do? And you can start to position yourself and create Fitbits for chickens. Like, who on earth thinks about putting Fitbits on chickens? And I imagine it's the farmers that have my weird brains, that my weird brain creates acronyms. His weird brain said, wonder what would happen if I put a Fitbit on a chicken. But it's those combining ideas. We're going to talk more about that on Thursday night. But I just, while we're here, talked about chickens. And so now we're going to start with, I feel like I've missed a letter in my acronym because it's not WB. We missed an E. What was the E? We've done banners. I'm going to stop this recording and then we're going to come back to E. But if you're watching the recordings, don't go back to E. Go to S. If we're watching the recordings, do it in sequence. If we're live, we do it as it comes up.
Come on, we knew that you